what is the condition given to us is the given kernel k of xt. जे काही मध्ये kernel असेल k of xt is your first kernel k1 of xt. Okay. So k1 of xt is your given kernel, and then you can find k2, k3, and so on. So here the values of n is running from 2, 3, and so on. Okay. So this is what an iterated kernel. Why it is called iterated kernel? Because this is what the given kernel is our first one. Okay. First kernel is nothing but our given kernel, which is from our equation, that is integral equation. Now the second kernel we can find out with the help of this formula. In the very similar way we can find the third, fourth, and so on. You will come to know how to find out these iterated kernel while solving the examples. Okay. Now for that, let me give you the um, iterated kernel for Volterra integral equation. This is the iterated kernel for Friedel integral equation. Okay, now let me write down the formula for iterated kernel for Volterra integral equation. So it is kn of xt is equals to integration t to x k of xz kn minus 1 of zt dz. Okay. So this is again a formula for a iterated kernel, but it is for Volterra integral equation. Okay. So after putting these values, we will get the iterated kernel. And while solving the example, you will come to know that how you are going to find out those kn of xt. Now, first one we are going to see in this third chapter is method of successive approximations. Okay. The first point that we will see is method of successive approximation. Can anyone remember the method of successive approximation we have studied in the differential equation paper? What is successive approximation method? What we do in the successive approximation method? Okay. The question may be explain the method of successive approximation, or it may be like explain iterative method or reduction method, or we can say it is substitution method. For that, we will consider, we can go for the proof, or we can consider the Volterra integral equation of second kind. For this one, we will consider the Volterra integral equation of second kind. So what will be Volterra integral equation of second kind? G of x is 1, y of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration e to x, a of x t, y of t dt. This is what say equation 1 is a zero order approximation. That means this will be zero. Let us have the zero order approximation. That means y naught of x is equals to f of x. Just like our initial value problem. In the initial value problem also we are provided with the value of y naught. Here instead of giving some number, it is some function, say f of x. Now this y naught of x is given to us. Further, if yn and yn minus 1 are nth or n minus 1th approximation respectively, and they when be related as. Okay. Now here what is given for us? Y naught is given to us. Now what will be yn? That's why I asked you the method of successive approximation you have studied in our differential equation paper. Let me write down this. I hope you can remember. Yn of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of x t yn minus 1 of t dt. This is say equation 3. Okay, this is what our yn, that is the nth approximation of our function y. Initially, we are provided with y naught of x is equal to some function f of x. So, the in general, we can write nth and n minus 1th approximations, and they can be related as, okay, that means if you know yn minus 1, then you can find out yn with the help of this formula. Okay, now if I put n equal to 1, what I get in the equation number 3, if I put n equal to 1, I will get y1 of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of xt y naught of t dt. Okay, but we are provided that y naught of t is nothing but your f of t from our equation, that is y naught value from equation 2, we can say y naught of t is f of t. So hence we can write this equation y1 of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of xt f of t dt. Okay, this is the equation 4. Now putting n equal to 2 in the above equation, that means in nth approximation. That's why I told you, you have to remember the differential equation paper in which we have studied the successor approximation. If you remember that, you can remember this formula. With the help of these one, the of n minus 1, we can find out the nth approximation. And hence, after putting n equal to 2, we can get it. The formula is y2 of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of xt. Instead of anything else, here we can have y1 of t dt. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to replace t by z. Why we are going to replace? Because we have to use a formula for the uh, iterated kernel. Okay, replacing t by z, we get y2 of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of xz y1 of z dz. Wherever you have t, you have to put it as z because we want to use a iterated formula. Okay, here you can see in the Volterra we can have k of uh, kn of xt is equal to k of xz kn minus 1 of zt. We have to use this formula, so that's why we are replacing the second variable by z. That is t replaced by z. So now what we have to do, from equation 4 we have what we have in equation 4. So let us have this equation 4. What is our equation 4? Now if I put y1 of z, what will happen for this equation? If I write this equation in terms of z, y1 of z is equal to f of z plus lambda integration a to z k of zt f of t dt. Okay, so this is from equation 4. Putting equation 6 in 4, this is our equation 6. Substituting equation 6 in 5. Okay, what is our equation 5? This is our equation 5 after replacing t by z. Okay, now if you can see here, what is our equation? Putting equation 6 in 5. Okay, what is our equation 6? y1 of z is equal to this much. Okay, so here we have to substitute the value of y1 of z. To find out the value of y1 of z, we have make a use of a equation 4. Okay, so equation 4 is now in terms of x, so that's why we have written this in terms of z, so that we can write, so that we can use this equation 6 in our equation 4. So using equation 6 in equation, say this is 5, and we get it is y2 of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of xz as it is. Y1 of z we have to write down. The value of this is from equation 4. We have substituted in Equation 4 मध्ये x is replaced by z and then we got equation 6. This equation 6 we are using here. F of z plus lambda integration a to z a of zt f of t dt, and total integration is with respect to z. Okay, so what we have now, y2 of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of xz multiplied by this f of z into dz plus, okay, what is the next term? Lambda, lambda, it will be lambda square integration a to x k of xz, and in the bracket we have the term integration a to z k of zt f of t dt. Total integration is now with respect to z. So this is our equation 7. Now for this equation, if I want to solve this equation, if I want to solve it, is here with respect to t is there and here is with respect to z. To solve this type of integral equation, I should tell you that you should go back to our BSc second year. In that we have used a method. What was a method? Considering the double integration. Okay. Now let me write down that so that you can remember what we have done in our BSc. Okay. Here we are writing this integration is with respect to t and z. So we are going to change them now. So for t, the limits of integration are a to z. Okay. So this is what say a, and up to z. Now here also z is there. So here limits of z are from a to x. So this a we are going to take. Limits of integration of z are a to x. Okay, and we are saying that the t will coincide with the z. T and z will be equal at this point, no? Equal to z. Okay, so we can have, this is what your zx is. Now here the limits of integration we have written. Now if you remember that how we are going to change the limits of integration, z is with a to x and t is with a to t equal to z. Okay, t equal to z. T equal to z कुठे येणार आहे? हे येणार आहे, right? The line which is passing through the origin and making an angle of 45 degree. It's not going to be he straight दिसत नाही, but assume that this is a straight one. So this we have written the limits of integration. Now can anyone tell me how to change the limits of integration which we have done in BSc?
Don't remember, ma'am.
Anyone else remembering this, how to change? At least you remember this type of figure we were drawing this and then we are changing the limits of integration. Okay. If you're not remembering this, okay, let me give you one more hint. The clearly the region of integration. आता region of integration हे तर सांगू शकतो ना आपण. This will be nothing but the region of integration. Okay. So the region of integration is given by these lines, and it is let me name it as say A, B, C. This is what a triangle in which we are going to find out the integration. That means the region of integration, because upper and lower limits of the integration have been provided. Now, in the double integration, we have the strips is given to us. Strips are taken parallel to T, right? Now, whatever the strip we are been provided, now we have to change that strip. हे तर आठवते का आता स्ट्रिप चेंज करताना कसं चेंज करत होतो. Okay, let me draw the sketch once again. What we are doing, this is say with T and this is with Z axis. So Z is with say limits are from some constant A to X, and this is from C. T is from A to T equal to Z. T equal to Z is the line passing like this. So this is what the area of integration. Now, if I want to change this, what I have to do? We are going to change the order of integration now. Double integration. Okay. So here I can take this as, if you remember, this was a strip. We have taken parallel to T. This is say PQ strip. Okay. Now we want to change the order of integration. Then we will change the strip parallel to Z axis. Okay. Initially we have taken the strip parallel to T axis. Now if I want to change the order, I will take the strip parallel to Z axis. आता तरी आठवलं का नाही का झोपलेत सगळे अजून.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So this strip is now parallel to T. Now order of integration, it will become the parallel to Z axis. After changing this, we have to now write down the limits with the help of this strip RS. Okay. So now the limits of integration of Z we have to write down as well as T. Okay. Now if I want to write down the limits of integration of Z, Z will start with the T. Okay. From here, Z equal to T now. Then it will end to X. Z equal to X now. We have to see now RS strip. It will start from T equal to Z and ends to Z equal to X. Similarly, for T also we have to write down the limits for by seeing this cell. This strip I am going to move like this. A पूर्ण strip ऐसा move होना है RS. So it will start from this line like T equal to A and ends to this one. Okay, T equal to Z. So it will ends to T equal to Z, or we can say T equal to X also. Okay. From this to this end, it will start. So it will be initially what was those? Initially we have been Z equal to A, Z equal to X, limits of Z, and limits of T were A to Z. Now it have been changed to E to X and A to X. Okay. Are you getting me? आता तरी आठवलं का BSc सेकंड इयर मध्ये होता ना डबल एंड ट्रिपल इंटिग्रेशन.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will consider that part of this equation. Equation 7, we will consider only this double integration part so that we can evaluate this part, and then we will substitute again back to in our equation 7. Okay, considering the double integration of equation 7. Okay, what was our double integration? Z equal to A to X, K of xz, integration T equal to A to Z, K of zt, f of t, dt, dz is equal to. Now the limits of integration has been changed since we have changed the order. t equal to a to x f of t k of xz k of zt tz dt. Now don't ask me why I like this because you must know from your BSc. We have already done this changing the order and all. So now equation 7 becomes, I will write directly this equation 7 becomes after changing the order, we'll write it as y2 of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of xz f of z dz as it is plus lambda square. Now here there will be change integration a to x f of t. आठवलं का कुणाला हे असं का लिहिलं? First we have written the terms with z and then we have written the terms with only t and the integration is with respect to t. Okay. Integration t to x k of xz d k of xz k of zt dz dt. So let me name this equation 8. Now we know the iterated kernel. What is the formula for iterated kernel? Kn of x is equals to k of z, k of xz, kn minus 1 of zt. Right? This is a formula for iterated kernel. Now, if I put n equal to 2, what will happen for this formula if I put n equal to 2? So, k2 of xt will be equal to integration t to x k of xz k1 of zt dz. As I told you in this iterated formula, this k1 is nothing but your given iterated kernel. So this I can write it as simply like this. Okay. Now you can use this equation k of xz, k of zt is there. Okay. See this k2 of xt we have written it is integration t to x, k of xz, k of zt. This equation we can use here. Okay, here also we have k of xz, k of zt. So using the formula for iterated kernel, after putting n equal to 2 in the formula, we get the result it as this whole equation we can write it as y2 of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of xz f of z dz plus lambda square this integration a to x f of t. The value of this whole bracket we have found is nothing but your k2 of xt dt as it is. Okay. Now replacing z by t. Okay, because already we have replaced t by z. Now we will again give back replacing z by t. The above equation becomes y2 of x is equals to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of xt f of t dt plus lambda square a to x f of t a2 of x dt. Okay. Now you can see here for y2 we are having the two values lambda plus here is lambda square. You can observe here if I write this as replacing this to the position of f of t in k of xt. So I can write this as f of t into k of xz. Okay, so here we get it is this term as it is lambda f of t k of xt and second term is lambda square f of t k2 of xt. So I can write this formula by 2 of x is equals to f of x as it is plus summation m runs from 1 and 2 because we have only two values lambda raised to m integration a to x f of t km of xt dt. Is it correct? If I run the summation m equal to 1, it will be lambda raised to 1 plus f of t k1 of xt. But k1 is nothing but your given kernel k of xt. Similarly, we can write the second term, that is m equal to 2 lambda square a2x f of t k2 of xt. Okay, so this we have written for y2. Now we can generalize the concept for n, and hence we can write yn of x is equals to f of x plus summation m runs from 1 to n. Instead of having only two values, we can run this for nth approximation. Lambda raised to m a to x km of xt f of t dt. Now if I take as n tends to infinity, what will be the answer? As limit as n tends to infinity, we will get yn of x is equal to, we will get the correct answer, y of x is equals to f of x plus the same term. Okay. Now this integration and summation we can also interchange. Yes, here we can interchange integration and summation, and we can write the same equation, y of x is equal to f of x plus lambda integration a to x summation m runs from 1 to infinity. Okay, as n tends to infinity we have written here. So this n tends to infinity, so it will happen lambda is to m minus 1, because I have 1 lambda I have taken outside. So since I have to write down this in the form of standard equation into f of t dt. Now whatever the bracket we are going to see here, this bracket we will name it as, say, r of x t lambda is equals to summation m runs from 1 to infinity lambda raised to m minus 1 km of xt, and hence we can have solution by using iterated kernel is given by y of x is equals to f of x. This is lambda as it is, integration a to x as it is, and this is r of x t lambda f of t dt. Okay. So what we have done, let us see one by one. We have started with equation, Voldera integral equation of second kind. This is called successive approximation method, in which first we have put up this y naught. Okay, if you remember successive approximation method, you can come to know that how to use the successive approximation method. In that, first we are going to use a y naught. So general formula, that is nth approximation, can be written like this: yn of x is equal to f of x plus lambda integration a to x k of xt yn minus 1 of t dt. After putting n equal to 1, we get this 1. So substituting these values, we are getting y1 of x, that is equation 4. And then similarly, we can get the y2, and then replacing t by z. Why we are going to replace this? Because we have to use a formula for iterated kernel. And then in the equation 5, we have to find out what is y1 of z. Okay, to find out this y1 of z, we have to go back to our equation 4, where this equation 4 we have obtained by putting n equal to 1 and using the initial condition y naught of t is equals to f of t. And using this equation 6 in 5, we get this equation. After that, we have to use the double integration, that is change of order. Okay. After changing the order, we have to substitute, and then we can get the formula that our equation 8. In that equation 8, we have to use k of xz and k of zt. This equation is nothing but by using our iterated formula. K2 of xt is nothing but integration t to x, k of xz, k of zt. After putting n equal to t in the iteration formula, we get our equation 8 can be now written by substituting this integration k of xz, k of zt is nothing but simply k2 of xt. Okay, and hence after that we can come to our equation y2 is equal to f of x plus lambda square and so on. So now this we can write it as in the form of a summation. This equation we have obtained for y2 we can generalize the concept for n, and this as n tends to infinity, we will get the correct value, that is y of x, right? And approximations means what? We are going to find out the approximate answer for that. But if you are going to increase the number of iteration, limit as n tends to infinity means what? You are going to increase the number of iteration, then you can come to the correct solution y of x, and hence now simply changing the replacing the position of integration and summation, taking one lambda outside, we can get the formula for r of xt lambda. This whole bracket is called r of xt lambda, and this is called the method of successive approximation. Any doubt in this? I hope there will be a doubt, but after solving the example, you will come to know what is r of xt lambda. Okay, we'll see one more. Okay, before going to that theorem, let us solve one example so that you can come to know that how to use the iterated kernel formula. Okay, write with me the example. Find the resolvent kernel of the following. Find the resolvent kernel of the following. This R of xt lambda is called a resolvent kernel. This is called a resolvent kernel. Find the resolvent kernel of the following. We have been provided that k of xt is equals to 1. We know that iterated kernels are given by, how iterated kernels are given? Kn of xt is equals to integration t to x, k of xz, kn minus 1 of zt dz. This is equation 1. Now we have been provided that k of xt is nothing but 1, which is nothing but your given kernel is nothing but your first iterated kernel, k1 of xt. Now k1, if you are knowing, you have to substitute n equal to 2 so that we can find out the formula. That is, we have to find out the resolvent kernel. What is the question? Find the resolvent kernel for k of xt is equals to 1. k2 of xt is equals to k of xz n minus 1, that is 2 minus 1 is k1 of zt. Now we know that both values are 1. k of xz घ्या, k1 of zt घ्या, कुठलाही घेतल्यानंतर तेच येणार आहे ना. k1 or k, because given kernel is nothing but your first iterated kernel from this. So we can write these are 1, y into 1 will be 1. So we integration dz, and here we can write the integration of dz is t minus x.
Ma'am, k of xz is 1. How?
Okay, k of xz is 1. What is k of xt? It is 1. What about k of xz? It will also be equal to 1. Now simply we have replaced t by z. Similarly, for k1 of zt, what will happen for k1 of zt? Instead of having x, we have written it is k1 of xt. k1 of xt is given to us. k1 is nothing but your given kernel. So if it is 1, we can write this is also equal to 1. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Simply change of variable is it. We have to use this in formula, so that's why we are writing this as k of xz and k of zt. So in this way, we got the value of second iterated kernel k2 of xt as x minus t. Similarly, now put n equal to 3, we will get k3 of xt is equals to integration t to x k of xz k2 of z dz. The question that you have asked k of xt is equal to 1. But suppose k of xt is given as some function k of xt is equal to say x minus t. If it is given like this, at that time there will be a change. As here in this case k of xt is 1, there is no problem. But if k of xz if I want to write down, so at that time I have to replace this t by z. So it will be x minus z. At that time it will be a change. But in this example, as the value of kernel is given to be single number, that is one constant 1. But if it is some function, then at that time it will be different. K of xz and k of zt. So in this case, what will be k of zt? So replacing x by z, it will be z minus t. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let me write down this. K2 is not known to us. This is K2 is x minus t. Now, but here we have to write down K2 of zt. So now with the help of this, I can write K2 of zt is equals to, instead of x, we have to write z. It is z minus t. Okay. So here we can write t to x, the k of xz or k1, it is 1 into this z minus t dz. Now we have to simply evaluate the integration. The integration will be z square by 2 minus t into z within the limit t to x. So it is x square by 2 minus t square by 2 minus t as it is. Where you have to put up the limit, that is very important, because we have evaluated the integration with respect to z. So you have to put up the limits of z. Sometimes you evaluate the integration with respect to z, but you put the limits of t. Okay, that is not true. So t we have to put as it is. Limits of z are t minus x. Now we get the formula for k3. Now we have to find out the formula up to the term that we will get the generalization for k. So we can get this as x square minus t square minus, if I multiply by 2, 2 this is t square minus minus become plus tx into 2. Okay. Now let me evaluate this. Simply I have taken the LCM. This is x square minus.
It is divided by 2 now.
Okay, wait. T minus is also. This minus minus become plus. This is minus 2 times minus t square. Z square by 2.
Ma'am, it is minus 2tx plus 2t square.
Y plus 2t square. T z. अच्छा, यहाँ पे लिमिट्स ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन उल्टा लिखा है मैंने.
It is minus minus plus.
X minus t, correct. Upper limit minus lower limit, so x minus t. So this will be minus 2tx minus minus become plus 2 times t square. Okay, now this 1 by 2 as it is, x square minus t square plus 2t square. So it will be plus t square minus 2tx. So this will be the formula like x minus t bracket square divided by 2. Right, so we get the formula for k3 of xt as x minus t square by 2. What was the formula for k2 we have obtained is x.
It's x minus 2, x minus t.
1. For k1 of xt was simply 1. So now I think we can write the generalization, right? Or in we can evaluate the K4 also, because we are not sure that whether the 2 will be always there or it may be factorial. It may be 2 factorial or it may be simply 2. For the next step, we will verify what will be K4. And after verifying the equation K4, we'll write the generalization, that is Kn. Okay. Let me write down the formula for K4. Is integration P to x, K of xz, K3 of zt dz. K of xz is simply 1. No need to write down integration P to x. Now K3 of z. We know K3 of xt. Okay. So this K3 of xt is there, but instead of x, we have to write down z. What will be the formula for this? X च्या जागी तुम्हाला z put up करावा लागेल. K3 of zt we have to
Z minus t whole square upon 2.
z minus t square by 2 dz. Okay. So after evaluating this, let me write down directly. I think you can evaluate this now. काय येणार आहे ह्याचं इंटिग्रेशन z minus t square by 2. Don't evaluate this as z minus t.
And it is z minus t raised to 3 upon 3.
Z minus t raised to 3 upon 3. This 2 as it is, 2 into 3. Within the limit we have to write down t to x. Okay. So this will be 1 upon 2 into 3, that I can write this as 3 factorial. Now I have to put up the limit. Limits of z we have to put. So it will be x minus t cube minus t minus t cube. So we can get the formula for K4 as 1 upon 3 factorial into x minus t cube. Okay. Now I can write the general formula for this as Km of xt is equals to x minus t raised to. For 4, we are having the power is here 3. So I can write this as m minus 1 divided by m minus 1 factorial. Now let me write down the formula for r of xt lambda is equals to. What is the formula for r of xt lambda we have obtained from the theorem? R of xt lambda is summation m runs from 1 to infinity lambda raised to m minus 1 km of xt. Km of xt just now we have found. Let me put up this formula for km of xt in r of xt lambda. So this is summation m runs from 1 to infinity lambda raised to n minus 1 km of xt. I will write directly km of xt as x minus t raised to m minus 1 divided by m minus 1 factorial.
Ma'am, please scroll down a little bit.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now if I run this summation, I can again write in the general formula for this as, if I run the summation for m equal to 1, what will be the resultant? Lambda raised to 1 minus 1, it is lambda raised to 0 is 1, and here we get x minus t raised to m minus 1, that is 1 minus 1, again it is 0 divided by the same term, right? So okay, instead of evaluating that, let me put up this as it is. Directly I can write it as 1 also, no? After putting m equal to 1, it will be lambda raised to 0. This is also x minus t raised to 0, which is 1. Okay, let us evaluate m equal to 2. After putting m equal to 2, it will be lambda raised to 2 minus 1 into x minus t raised to 2 minus 1 divided by 2 minus 1 factorial plus lambda square now. After putting m equal to 3, it is x minus t square by 2 plus so on. The next term and hence we can write this as 1 plus lambda. This x minus t is nothing but your k2 plus lambda square. This is nothing but your k3 plus lambda cube. We will get k4. And we can write this as e raised to lambda x minus t. This I can write this as e raised to lambda x minus t. बरोबर ना? What is the formula for e raised to x? 1 plus x plus square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial and so on. So here also we are getting 1 plus lambda x minus t, that is your x, plus lambda square x square minus t divided by 2 factorial and so on. Okay? So we get the formula for r of xt lambda as e raised to lambda x minus t, considering what was our k of xt given for our example. K of xt is 1. For k of xt equal to 1, we are getting r of xt lambda is e raised to lambda x minus t. Okay. If you're not having doubt, we can stop the lecture.
हेलो मैम,
Hmm.
मैम इंटरनल्स के बारे में बोलो ना फिर से.
इंटरनल्स में न्यूमेरिकल एनालिसिस और इंटीग्रल इक्वेशन दोनों के दो दो चैप्टर होंगे. इंटीग्रल का इससे पहले जो हुआ था वो फर्स्ट एंड सेकेंड चैप्टर. आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू द सिलेबस फॉर इंटीग्रल इक्वेशन. हो गया है ना सिलेबस उसका?
यस मैम.
You have declared the internal also, but now we are going to take the common internal. That is just like in the first day, it will be first paper, that is major and integration. And for numerical also, we'll have the 2 chapters for your internal exam. Okay, first chapter, that is error and approximation. Second is as interpolation. The 2 chapters, and for a internal exam, it will be of 30 marks. I'm not going to repeat that.
मैम पैटर्न.
Pattern is MCQ plus theory both. For theory, what you have to do, you have to write it and you have to make a photo of that, and in the question I will give you the option for uploading the image, PDF, whatever it will be.
ओके मैम.
Okay.
मैम सभी पेपर्स का 30 मार्क्स का ही होगा?
सभी 30 मार्क्स के होंगे इसका पता नहीं, बट हमारा सिलेबस 2 चैप्टर हो गया है, इसलिए मैं 30 मार्क्स का ही ले रही हूँ. और आई थिंक इंटीग्रल और न्यूमेरिकल में फेल होने के चांसेस तो नहीं है, so that's why I'm taking it is 30 marks internal only.
ओके मैम.
आहेत का चान्सेस फेल होण्याचे न्यूमेरिकल आणि इंटिग्रल मध्ये?
मैम डिपेंड्स ऑन द पेपर. न्यूमेरिकल में नहीं, इंटीग्रल के बोल नहीं सकते.
Integral is also very easy. If you study, it is not so much difficult paper. As I told you, you can score 70 out of 70 in integral equation. After completion of this whole paper, I will give you how to study integral equation in only 2 pages. Simply you have to remember the formula and method, na? What you have done in the first chapter, we have seen only 2 methods. Conversion, na? Conversion of BBP, conversion of IBP. In the second one, we have seen the that kernel का कुछ था ना, separable kernel. With the help of separable kernel, we have found the Fredol integral equation. We have to solve Fredol integral equation by using separable kernel. The 2 methods totally in the first and second chapter combining, we may have 2 to 3 theorems, not more than that. And that general formula, na, conversion of multiple integration to single integration. Okay, so it is not so much difficult integral equation. So you have to study for internal exam. Be prepared. You have to ask the syllabus for corresponding teacher. We will tell you the schedule when there will be exam, and then you can ask the syllabus. Okay, but for numerical and integral equation, I told you the syllabus. इंटीग्रल के लिए जो पहले दिया था वही है, न्यूमेरिकल के लिए 2 चैप्टर है. first two chapters. Any doubt again?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you can leave the meeting. Thank you.